You think you're a good person. You want to do the right thing, be nice and stay true to your values. While you see powerful people manipulating and harming others, and you feel disgust, not only for the person doing it but for power itself. That disgust turns into fear, not because it's evil but because it threatens who you think you are. You weren't born to submit, but you were trained to believe that power is something bad. And now, every time you feel the impulse to take control, you censor yourself. Every time people start to listen, you shrink. Not because you can't handle power, but because it doesn't fit the image you have of yourself. That image of the kind, humble, harmless person, keeps you small. It protects your ego from moral discomfort, but it costs you your influence, your impact, and your strength. Psychologically, this is self-preservation. Your identity is built to avoid inner conflict, so if power feels like a threat to your morality, your mind will block it, you'll procrastinate, hesitate, or rationalize your way out of dominance again and again. If you want real power, you have to kill the idea that it makes you a bad person. Power doesn't corrupt, it sets you free. And if your identity can't handle that, you'll stay small forever. If everyone you tell your goals to can understand them, you dream way too small. Real power begins where realism ends. Because that delusion triggers a hidden neuroscience-based superpower in your brain. Our brain has the ability to rewire itself. When neural pathways change, things become easier, harder, or more automatic. This process is called neuroplasticity, but the brain doesn't rewire for no reason. It needs a cause, and the stronger the cause, the more radical the change. The most effective way to trigger that change is through tension, and tension can be created by cognitive dissonance. When your goal is so massively delusional that your current self could never achieve it, you generate deep psychological dissonance. That dissonance creates tension, and under that tension neuroplasticity kicks in. Your brain starts rewiring itself to close the gap. It adapts to the demands of your goal. You begin to think, act and move like the version of you who could actually achieve it. Small goals never trigger that. They're too easy, too familiar. The dissonance isn't strong enough to force change, so you stay the same. So get delusional about your goals. Say them out loud, even if you don't feel ready. And if you're serious, drop yours in the comments.
Everyone has that one friend who always plays the clown, never takes things seriously, constantly makes themselves the joke. They're not just funny. They've internalized that role because someone gave it to them early, and everyone has a certain role they play, a label that controls them. And if you know how to use it, that label will give you unlimited power. No one is born the clown, the leader, or the failure. These roles are assigned by parents, teachers, friends, and then repeated until they stick. And once the brain absorbs a label, it builds behavior around it. The brain seeks coherence. If someone tells you you're the funny one, and you accept it, your mind begins filtering your behavior to match that identity. You exaggerate certain traits, suppress others, and eventually become the thing that was named. So name people before they name themselves, frame them in ways that serve your goals, tell them who they are, and repeat it until they believe it. Because once they do, they'll act it out automatically. And for yourself, kill every label you didn't choose. Because if you didn't write the script, someone else is directing your life.